Well, hey, welcome to the show before the show. I'm your host, Patrick Marlett, your local game guy, and today we are brewing some One Piece for you. If you don't know and you play on the Batsu Sim OPTCG Sim, a new update came out for today. I am, of course, on 1.2a, 1.20, something like that. So we are going to be playing with the complete list of cards that are out right now for, I believe, OP06 as well, although we will be functionally brewing for OP05, which is the Western meta in which I play. Okay, with all that out of the way, be sure to update your sim if you want to play this version of the deck or any version of a deck from OP05. I believe there's some more promos that are up on the sim now too, with all the correct wording and rulings for everything, again, up till OP06. And we can check some of those cards out, although it's really not necessary for our purposes today because we're going to be brewing Sabo for OP05. And it's interesting, he's kind of fallen by the wayside, in my opinion, at least so far as the sim has shown me and general interest on the YouTube sphere has shown me. Sabo seems to kind of fallen behind the pack, behind its, I guess, sister card with the Revolutionary Army, at least. Bello Betty and Rocinante is like, sure, it's like a quirky blue-green card that I'm seeing a little bit more than at least Sabo. But it's really Enel, Luffy, and Sakazuki is what everyone's talking about, myself included. I've played through all three of those leaders and have a Sakazuki build I really enjoy. Will likely be making that for OP05. But regardless, me and everyone else, I want to try to brew for some of the off-meta leaders that come out. Obviously some older ones and some newer ones, but because we're right on the cusp of seeing OP05 release, and I have not seen enough Sabos brewed, I figured we can take today to sort of outline what that build could look like. Again, this is set 5, and up till now we have 10 starters with a whole host of new red cards, so there are plenty of avenues and routes you can go with deck building at this point. I remember when I got into this game, OP02 had just released, and literally the meta was kind of predetermined, and it had remained that way, honestly, up until the latter half of OP04, or what people are calling 4.5 with the recent bans and restrictions. So thank goodness like OP05 is releasing, because we're seeing a real shakeup with what leaders are winning events and what colors are being played, which is so nice to see. And some older leaders coming back and rising in prominence, which is also nice to see. And I'm not talking about Zoro, and I'm not talking about Red Green Law. It's super, super nice to see, especially purple, because purple's been shafted hard. I remember pulling Iceberg and being mildly excited, and I'm like, oh, it's a monocolor leader with 5 life that can attack, and lo and behold, the next set releases 2 leaders that are near identical but with way better effects in multiple colors and with 5 life still. Iceberg, they did him so dirty. But that's neither here nor there. You guys are concerned about Sabo, I imagine. There's only one other black-red leader, I believe, and it is actually probably still my favorite, though he's not great, in Garp, Monkey D. Garp. I think he's fantastic. I just wish there was more support for Navy in these colors. Again, he should have been blue-black, and that's honestly the reason why I've built Sakazuki, because like those are the colors of Navy, or at least have been from OP01 and those starters, specifically with Sentomaru, who I enjoy playing. But yeah, Garp is fine. Could have been better. I think Sabo, though, has some legs, and we can take a look at him now. But that's Sabo. We're in black-red now. Again, the synergies in these colors are kind of at a lack. A lot of the colors in this game, still up until OP05, don't really mesh that well together. Many of them don't have real proper synergies. But here we're okay. The synergies are less relevant, more so the leader ability that we're looking at. And it's quite good, I think. So if you haven't guessed from the title, Sabo and his army is virtually KO proof. Virtually. So if you have donned up Sabo on your opponent's turn once per turn, if one of your characters with 5,000 power or more were to be KO'd, you may instead give that character negative 1,000 power for the turn. So let's just say it's a 3 for 5k, whatever is on the battlefield. If it were to die, you can go ahead and give it negative 1,000 power. It'll be a 4k for the rest of the turn. If they can kill it at that point, it gets removed. I would say the biggest threat to this list realistically are blue removal spells. Like those are going to be the real pain points in my opinion for this deck. And we'll see. So far as the matchups are concerned, like I've only fought Sabo a handful of times, and I've been playing a lot of blue. Even pre Sakazuki, I like to play Doflamingo from OP01, and I also like Starter Croc. And you're using bottom effects, so it just skirts around this entirely. And I noticed that the Sabos really just had to suffer through that. They never really dawned up because they weren't expecting KOs. Although you can still attack and KO things, so then they would have to commit excess amount of cards to give it the counter power necessary to keep alive. It's a weird game you're playing with Sabo, because sometimes it's only once per turn too, and on your opponent's turn only. So what happens is you'll do the effect. This is from what I've seen. You'll do the effect, and then you need to gauge whether the thing that's about to die is worth saving or not. It's a May, right? And you only get to do this once. So it's like, well, maybe they're trying to set up a better KO target after the fact. So there's this mind game you're playing with your own deck, your own characters, to see who you keep and who dies. It's a really interesting game. We're going to be building this with the bands, what is it, Moby Dick and Kabaji, which obviously, you know, none of those matter for this deck strategy. And the restrictions, I'm not sure what restrictions there are on the cards we're going to be playing. I'm pretty sure all the bans will be lifted for Nami Curly. I don't even know if we go Straw Hats. I think what we want to do is just look at what Revolutionary Army offers to this package. Again, I haven't really looked over this leader whatsoever, so this will be educational for me. But also, if you build and play Sabo, feel free to leave those deck lists in the chat after this, or if you're watching the live, feel free to just communicate with me on what you think is pivotal for this deck. Everyone has an opinion. I'm sure you've seen gameplay, potentially overseas, of folks playing this deck. If there are play lines or strategies or combos or synergies that you think are good, let me know. And again, this is a blueprint. We've gotten a lot of comments from past videos on, you're doing this wrong. You got to use this, this, and this. I'm like, well, that's nice. I think net decking is the thing, but I want to hear your firm opinion from experience if you have it, and just be cordial. Just a friendly brewing session today. And I'm very curious to see how you guys want to build for this one, genuinely. That's what the whole point of doing this live is about. It's to make it a community build and get a better sense of where this deck should be taken. And then obviously you can take this blueprint, do whatever you want. Maybe we do Bello Betty later because she looks honestly really dope. But on that note, I think we're good to start. Hi, I'm Patrick Marlette, your local game guy, and today we'll be brewing Sabo, Red Black Sabo. If you've been here the whole time, you've heard me talk Sabo to death, but not effectively knocked him out at this point. So the deck itself is in blue-black, Revolutionary Army is in red. I believe all the Revolutionary Army characters, there's some in blue, and then there are some in red. I'm not sure there are any in black. We'll have to look at what the searcher is. I'm pretty sure it's Bello Betty. Like I think I saw that one drop. So we have searchers for Revolutionary Army. Sabo doesn't necessarily care that his effect works on anything even outside of Revolutionary Army, I should say. But there are Revolutionary Army characters that care about your leader being Revolutionary Army. So if there are any real good ones, like what Chaka was to Vivi, we'll include those. It just makes sense. MTG name, big fan of just doing the Navy package with him and using powerful red cards we have access to in some of the specific Revolutionary. Exactly what I mean. Like, I think MTG name is right on the money. I love it when leaders aren't faction specific, but that doesn't mean we should ignore what Revolutionary Army has to offer. If we find that only like a playset of one card seems valid for the deck, then we'll largely ignore the rest of that, faction, and I say faction, tribe, typing. We'll ignore that and just keep that in there. And we don't even necessarily need searchers, but it's not like even Sakazuki's on searchers. It's not like we're able to loot every single turn, draw a card, discard a card like Saka does. Saka even here? No, I can't show you him. That's lame. Normally it'll show leaders if they're part of their color is within the color pie, excuse me. Maybe he's down here. But yeah, if you haven't seen Sakazuki, like he's pretty maddening to go against, and he's quite good. I'm not talking about this Sakazuki, although I've played this Sakazuki and quite like him, this one. That's a loot effect, or rather a rummage effect, discarding and drawing a card. I think we're going to stick with a searcher, and maybe it is brand new for Navy. If you guys haven't seen this, guys, at 2 for 3K. I look at the top 3 cards, and then we bin some cards. We might even use Lucci in this same deck. I found that, at least within my Sakazuki build, there's a lot of power, and you'll see this with Rebecca decks too, and Rebecca even goes harder on this, but there's a lot of power in organizing the bottom of your deck, especially if you can cycle through your list very quickly with the amount of trash effects you have. But brand new is unique in that he's a searcher that trashes. I know initially at first people did not like that aspect, having to place all their cards in the trash, but now there's a very valid reason, and that card is Rob Lucci. Obviously, Sakazuki's own effect in that deck helps place 3 cards from your trash in the bottom of your deck in any order. We will have to rely on other effects to do that because our leader does not care about that at all. But this might be one of those good cards we run. It's a vanilla 4 for 6, which is good value. Yes, it will get eaten up by Jet Pistol, but I feel like people have moved away from Jet Pistol, although I disagree with that idea. I still think it's good for getting rid of a lot of mid-range blockers and attackers, but all the better for us. I think Rob Lucci's going to stick, and they're going to have to go overkill on it. Or, you know, again, blue, 3,000 worlds. They'll just get away with it. We're going to stop like up to Lucci. Again, OP06 is on here now effectively. If you haven't seen all these cards, they're definitely worth checking out. I believe all of the set is on here, as well as some interesting promos. This Tony Chopper is kind of cool. Again, we're not going to play with any of the promos that are out of OP05 as well, so we can largely ignore them. But this is interesting. I want to look at the Revolutionary Army package first. I'm going to quickly go over the OP05 cards to see if there are any. Maybe we go Celestial Dragon. How maddening would that be to do Sabo with Celestial Dragons? That'd be pretty dope, actually. Some of these Celestial Dragons are actually kind of dope. I don't know if you've seen them, but OP05, no one's really. I haven't seen anyone build a Celestial Dragon build. Okay. It's probably a good reason too. It's probably not good or worth it, but some of their effects are pretty gnarly. Like this guy, then give all your opponent's characters -6 to their cost. It's a 5-drop that's a 0. Very, very bad. But that effect is amazing. That effect is so good. That effect is better than 10 cost Kuzan, who is a secret rare from OP02, right? He's -5. He does come in and KOs a thing, and he actually has power. But if you did a Celestial Dragon build and you had like a leader or a character that could make use of that, that's pretty dope. I think of that mono black Sakazuki in this instance. He would just kill everything. But I mean, how powerful can a Celestial Dragon build be? No one's cracked it yet. I just want to see if there's any Revolutionary Army cards here. Of course, if you know of some Revolutionary Army cards, Rev Army cards that you want to add, let me know. We can add them now. But we'll. There you go. There's one. I forgot. Sabo himself is black, which is interesting. It's kind of interesting that they kept him separate from the rest of the pack. But it's good for black because the card itself is very good. Although it's quirky alongside Sabo as a leader. Your characters can't be KO'd by card effects until the start of your next turn. Draw 2, trash 2. So this is effectively a loot effect. So you draw 2, trash 2. It's card quality. You get to see what you're discarding before you get rid of a card from your hand. That's very good. The effect itself, tethered onto the on play, is amazing. This is including himself, right? So characters can't be KO'd by effects. So it's a pretty solid blocker on curve if this is your 3rd drop. Yeah, it's weird. I feel like you normally reserve Sabo till later to help you turtle up and keep your wall before trying to attack your opponent, at least from what I've seen. And I've seen a few decks running this Sabo. I don't know if we necessarily need him. I'll add one though for now in case we want to go back to him. That might be the only Rev Army. Why former Navy? I love this Kuzan so much, but I feel like it's too little too late. In my Sakazuki, I just placed like 2 of this Kuzan to see if it's worth running at all, and it's better just to combo out and have your top end be 7-drop Borsellino, sadly. Like, well, not sadly. It does so much work, it doesn't matter. But it would be nice if it had a proper top end, and Kuzan's really not that. He is easy to pull into, though, fortunately, with the loot effect. Some of these cards, again, we're going to skip over. And right there. Okay. 4,000 Brick Fist. During this turn, up to one of your leaders or characters gains 2,000 power. Then KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 2,000 power or less. So, from what I've seen of the characters, they kind of have like Brook effects where they'll negative the power of your opponent. Let me see here. Or they care about the power of your characters and they'll negative the power of your opponents. Let me see if I can find one. 3,000 power or less. Let's look at the events first, and then I'll go back to the characters. We might be doing this a little backwards. I don't think there's any starter 10 events we want for this deck, or just starter events in general, except for maybe the guard points. I'll put some guard points in here. Okay. 2,000 power during this turn, 2,000 power. That's actually quite a lot of power for the turn. Making your leader 7k for every oncoming attack is amazing. I think the 2,000 power or less is and the sort of guard point trigger effect on this is kind of cool. Up to one of your leaders or characters gets 1,000 power during this turn. So pretty decent trigger effect. It does change the combat math in a meaningful way for your opponents. Like near the mid to late game, your resource management is more important than ever. So putting them off dawn to get actual attacks in is pretty solid. I like this. I don't know how good the 2,000 power or less is. There are still chump blockers played. The Tony Choppers, the Laws are kind of making a resurgence. The blue Laws, people just like their 1-for-1 blockers. So this will kill them at least, but I don't know what else. I'm not sure if there's anything off turn that will help us clinch, but let's see. There's 2 Fire Fist. I keep forgetting this. Give up to one of your opponent's characters negative 4,000 power this turn. Then, if your life has 2 cards or less, which should be easy with a 4 life leader, KO up to one of your opponent's characters 0 or less power. Well, this misses the mark, kind of, in a few ways. Although it is, mind you, main. So, these are both main, excuse me. I kind of like this a little bit more now. This turn, 7k power this turn. Okay, we'll hold on to that. I feel like that might be crucial with some of the Rev Army cards if we do run a majority of them. But the Fire Fist is interesting, because I feel like this in tandem with a few effects could be pretty solid. We'll do the Fire Fist. I don't know how many like event removal cards we actually need, but we'll see. There's one more Rev Army card. Up to one of your leaders or characters gets 3,000 power this battle. This is a proper counter. 3 for 3 feels weak, but then play one character from your... The trigger's cute. I need to see... I don't think we're going to be running that many Revolutionary Army cards. I feel like they're probably, like you were saying, MTG name, there might be better Black Naval cards. But on that note, we're going to ignore these events. We're going to ignore the starter 10 stuff and all the starter promo stuff. We're just going to go to Rev Army from 05, although I am tempted to look at 06. Okay, so when attacking 7,000 power or more, KO one of your opponents with 3,000 power or less. Again, not amazing. There are some blockers where this is relevant, and, you know, on attack, you can remove the blocker before they have the opportunity to block or counter out, right? Increasing its power. That's fine. That's okay in my book. 3 for 5. So this is something we can do on curve. This character has 7,000 power or more. Your opponent cannot activate blocker during this battle. Well, I don't know. I'm a firm believer in Diable Jam. Like, I think this effect is amazing, and it has helped me close out so many games. I used to play a lot of starter Luffy, up through OP03. OP04, it really fell off, sadly. But Straw Hats in general, pretty potent, and there's a lot of them. The one that people mainly play these days is still 5 for 6 Rush Luffy. This is such a good card, and it has the unblockable effect on it. So knowing that that exists and how good that card is this one good enough? I don't like that Morley doesn't have any counter power. I don't know how difficult it will be. Mind you, you can also just allocate Dawn to give, you know, have one of your, have him be 7,000 or more. trigger trash one card, your leader is multicolored, play this card. Well, that will be the case. I don't think that's good enough. Bella Betty, pretty typical searcher. 1 for 2, top 5. Yeah, that's good. She's good. If that's, again, if we go that route, well, they're still trying with Alabasta Kingdom. I don't think anything's going to save VV. I like it being a defensive strategy, not aggro one, since Rev Army is very aggro. That's what it looks like, yeah. They really care about you allocating Dawn, making these things big. Again, 2 of these events are main, so they are very aggressive. And it's almost like what Whitebeard Pirates is doing. Well, you play bodies, and the bodies also act as removal, so it's a 2 for 1, right? So in a lot of cases, you could Vista out, have a decent body, kill a thing, Marco out, kill a thing, have a decent body. It's very similar, except by way of events, right? And it's slower in that sense, because these guys care about attacking. Generally, on play is favorite, I've found in this game, because there's just there's such a wide range of removal that it's difficult to ensure that that thing is still around. But you know, if the Robin sticks in red, or if the ulti sticks in blue, like, it can be really punishing. But this guy's okay. This is a 2 for 2 blocker. That's a 1k. Bunny Joe. We're gonna pass on that. I don't really favor blockers that highly, unless they're good ones. And I think Borsellino is a good one. So if we do go that route, we'll probably add Borsellino. Kuma. KO up to one of your opponent's characters, 2,000 power or less. Well, like I said, we like on plays, but we don't like them that weak. KO up one of your opponent's characters with 1,000 power or less, even weaker. Great art. Don't know if we need it. We're gonna skip that one. If you has 0 power, draw a card. Yeah, okay. Sure. Toto, sure. We're not that desperate for 2Ks though, at least not in these colors. Here's a Red Sabo. KO up to 2 of your KO up to 2 characters with combined power of 4,000 or less. So what I heard, tell me if this is crazy talk. Please tell me if this is crazy talk. And I'll take a second to just have a little tete-a-tete with you. There's 6 or 7k Sabo. Apparently you can have negative power in this game, right? So there's a card called Round Table that gives an opposing character, if I'm not mistaken, 4,000 power, negative 10,000 power. I'm looking for it now. It's from OP01. It's a 4-drop. Give up to one of your opponent's characters negative 10,000 power during this turn. So what I heard is the combo you can do is Round Table into this Red Sabo. Let me know if that's just a lie or if that's true. I've never looked into it. I just remember folks blowing this up on Instagram or something, saying that this is like the next thing to just wipe the board. And it sounds great. It sounds a little bit more demanding than just playing Lucci. I feel like black does have good level reduction, right? And blue cares about levels. That's why Sakazuki's so damn good. But black's level reduction could also potentially help our revolutionary army with Lucci. So, and Lucci's a 4 for 6 and Sabo's a 6 for 7. So like the difference is, I don't know if it's there. So MTG name, yes. Do you think it's, so the real question is, do you think that's a worthwhile combo to play? Or should we just stick with the black value cards? It's just a lot of cards to have. Yeah. You know, it's interesting. Well, the good bit of news is that Round Table has no trigger ability, so you're going to be forced to hold on to that shit. So you'll have it in hand, provided you get it off life for a potential Sabo turn. But this is 10 Dawn we're talking about. We're talking about the end of your game. So you remove potentially I wouldn't even say their best things. Like if you, depending on what you hit, if it was like 9k or more, 9k and under would be okay. 10k and up would be difficult because it's 4,000 or less. Anyway, if you're joining for the live, I'll highly encourage you to leave this video with a like, though. It does go a long way. I just want to say that. Oh, trying to, no, we're not going to do it. Ah, damn it. It used to do it. Yeah, leave this video with a like. It helps the discoverability of these lives so much. But let's continue. Round Fire Fist is the best way to do that if you want to play Sabo, but it's just not worth it in my opinion. Round Table. I'll show you guys the card, by the way. So this is what we're talking about. Give one of your opponent's characters an 10,000 power. So if this common had a trigger that was valid, it would feel more worth it. I think the design space, they felt like this was really powerful at the time, but the fact that it's so underplayed and generally forgotten is telling. So I'm not such a huge fan of Roundtable here either. Let's see. So that might be all we have outside of Koala. So 2 for 3k. This is a 2k counter. I think we're probably going to play her. If your lid has Revolutionary Army, give up to one of your opponent's characters 3,000 power this turn. So for 2 Dawn, we can reduce the power of one of our opposing creatures by 3k. That's not bad. A lot of the black removal, though, cares about levels, so we need to consider what Koala is actually doing. If we go the pretty much mono black route, again, this is sort of the issue that I had with Monkey D. Garp as well. You used Rad Beam, and that was pretty much it from red, because generally speaking, these 2 colors don't care. It's like water and oil. They don't want to mix. It's really tragic, but that's just how the game is right now. This guy looks interesting. On play for your leader's Revolutionary Army, give up to one of your opponent's characters negative 1,000 power. When attacking, if this has 7,000 power or more, give it to one of your opponent's characters. Okay, so that's kind of cool. It's reusable. I still don't like it. This Ivankov is kind of dope, but again, it is very much like MTG Name was saying. I think if you go the red route here, the Rev Army route, it would be very much more aggro. This is dumping bodies, much like the blue Ivankov does for Impel Down. I'm okay with it. If it has 7,000 power or more, this character gains Rush. This ain't a great rusher. This isn't a really good rusher at all. Because you need to, let's just pretend that we didn't have an event to buff it. It's going to be 6 Dawn for a 7k rusher, where you could just play 5 Dawn for a 6k rusher, and then give it 2 Dawn and have an 8k rusher that's unblockable. Mind you, it doesn't have 1k counter on the back end, but I always use Monkey D. Luffy as like the benchmark. If the rusher isn't comparable vanilla, then it's, obviously not as good. This is a secret rare. It was in one of the original starters. I get it. But it is still the benchmark of what a rusher should be. I guess we could look at this Sabo too. Kind of totally neglected this one. If you have 4 or less cards in your hand, this character gets 2,000 per. Yeah, we don't care about that. Okay. I think that if we were to go red, Straw Hats are still probably the strongest, but I kind of like the idea of going into black. I'll keep Koala because it's the only Rev Army card I care about. If there are other Rev Army cards we should care about, though, please let me know. But moving on to black, let's go ahead and take a look at some of our naval cards. Right now, Navy has the strongest synergy, at least for multicolored decks or decks outside of, tribal specific list, like the CP cards that care about CP cards. This is generally like the route you'll go if you go black. And the cards you'll generally go with are Borsellino. Man, I really like Hina. I feel like she never had her day in the sun because there was never a good leader for her. But so far as blockers are concerned, her effect is amazing. So on the block, choose up to one of your opponent's characters that's cost 6 or less. The chosen character cannot attack during this turn. The fact that Sabo, let's just say that we play off turn, because if we're in black and we're playing Navy, you would want to be off turn because your starting turn should look like, I'll just grab it now. Your starting turn should look like brand new. Filling up your trash and then potentially playing a naval card, and we'll probably go hard Navy here in a second. Again, I'm going to reduce these down to 1 and 1. I'll probably just go for a Rad Beam. Again, I mentioned it earlier. We're going to do the same thing I did with Monkey D. Garp. There's 1 Rad Beam. It's the only restricted card I think we'll be playing with. But your turn 1 should look like brand new. Your turn 2 should, well, for a time, it was one of the admirals. It was this Kuzan. I think this Kuzan's a little bit of a trap. I will state, so far as 4 for 5s are concerned, at least it is a lightning rod for removal. But I'll also state that there's no counter power on it. In a list, again, like Sakazuki, you could just ditch this and it's okay. For the most part, the combo for that list has been the 4-cost Rebecca, retrieve, whatever, play a 3 or less, generally Hina or Tashigi. I guess Suru in certain instances, but Kuzan doesn't really fit the bill there for me. I don't personally like this Kuzan, just, despite having bought a playset immediately. I think it's nice that it replaces itself. Here, that could be useful. The negative to level is only relevant here, provided we use removal that cares about level. So we're not there yet, and I don't think we do. But turn 3, what I was getting at, is a viable 6-drop. And really, my favorite cards in black in that turn 3 zone are Hina, secretly, that just never had a deck, and oh my god, Smoker. I freaking love the Smoker. I made an Isho build that was like KO proof as well. Isho untaps 5 or less naval cards. Where is he? But the Smoker right here, one of the best cards in the game for me. Like the rate, 5 for 7, amazing. 1 Dawn if there's a character with 0 or less in play, which is very easy to do with Isho. This gets double attack. You just wreck face with this guy and then untap it at the end of your turn, and they just have to deal with it. It's either going to be a blue list that bottoms it, or they're going to, which, is probably going to be very prevalent now. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I'm going to face a lot of Sakazukis now, like I've faced a lot of Whitebeards before. But it's going to be really good still against non-blue matchups. And I feel like Hina definitely is one of the better blockers in the game, and could be good in a list where on curve I can play her Dawn up 1, attack for 6, and ensure that she'll get the block, and she'll make whatever you laid down early game like moot, right? So I think Hina definitely has a place here as blockers are concerned. An Asian list a lot play 4 Hinas of this deck, or the Sakazuki deck. Sakazuki for sure, only because of the combo. You can very easily use Sakazuki's ability to like rummage a Hina away, the 3 for 5. I'll just show you guys Hina. It's one of the reasons that starter box back there, you can't see it anymore. The starter box back there is worth money. There's a couple of really great cards in Sakazuki starter. I even liked mono black Sakazuki. Not as good. Okay, mind you, not as good. Trashing cards for removal, kind of BS tethered on to what black wants to do. But yeah, she's fantastic. 3 for 5, that negs 4. Amazing value. I meant this deck. I mean the 5-cost Hina. Oh, that's so good to hear. Thank you. Validated. I really like this Hina. I think that turn 3 is going to look... Okay, cool. I think turn 3 is going to look great. I don't, because I make so much content for a variety of games. If you guys don't really watch this channel, you wouldn't know. If you're tuning in now, thanks. I'll watch videos my friends send me. That's about it. So we'll be talking about certain matchups. They'll send me decks of like from overseas, juniors or, regular tournaments of people playing these decks. I've never seen Sabo. So if that's what they do, that's good to know. I think she's great. I think she's so good here. It's a little redundant to have Borsellino with the KO effect, but it's whatever. I still think he's good. I don't even know we run the full... I don't even know we run the full amount. Are there better 3-drops? Anyway, let's keep looking. So the rest of the package, we're going to want some 2Ks in here, searchable ones. I think if we do go this route, we'll probably go for the level negative effects. So let's see here. Like this Tashigi I mentioned earlier. She's a really great 2K, but she's also a repeatable negative effect. It's like so amazing. Again, she came in that starter. Sadly, we're lacking the blue removal suite, right? The stuff that cares about level and will bottom, which is way better than trashing a card. I've actually really been a fan of Kobe from starter 8, but I don't know if Kobe makes the cut here. Bearing in mind that our blockers can protect Kobe very well, he himself is not within the 5,000 and up range to just stay alive or be KO proof effectively. I don't know. There might be a cause for Kobe. We really need the synergies in the list to like make that viable. Again, I'm not sure we're going with that KO engine, but I feel like it's probably easy enough to go with some of the KO utilities in black, and there's a lot of them. We can look at that later. But yeah. So the 5-cost Hina, that is good to know. So let's keep looking through our naval suite. This garb could be cool too. None of these things really care about Sabo's effect, which again is fine. I like Khalifa too. She really like Khalifa as a 2k counter. Koala's cool. I'm not sure how integral she is. We'll keep her for now. I'm a fan of Khalifa. She's a 4/4, but she can also help crackback later. Like, just don her up once and she's going to swing vanilla, which is great for like getting rid of any counters remaining in your opponent's hand, like doing the minimum before you go all in with your 7k up attacks. But also is a negative like leveler, so you can combo with her to get the kill on some characters. The only thing that we have, though, that's probably going to care about or want to play with our trash is the same thing that a majority of Blacklist will probably be doing, and that is Rebecca. I think Rebecca's probably favoring, though, as a 2k counter in the deck. Where's Bart? The new-ish Bart. This one. Because it's a 3 or less, Rebecca can play this from your hand. And you just have a blocker, so you can sort of have that double blocker turn. Sort of the combo people are enjoying these days. Also, it's a 2k counter, so if you did need to remove it from your hand earlier, you could bring it back and again, I do the same thing again. Return 1 to 3 to 5 black character from your trash to your hand. I kind of want to do this. So the negative effects, I'm going to add 4 for now. We're going to reduce the amount of 2k counters in hand. We'll go with the Rebecca's. I feel like she's probably a decent combo here. We don't have many trash effects yet outside of brand new. I'll keep the Sabo for now. We obviously want Lucci as well. I think that if we're going the negative level route, we'll just stick with the general strategy here. She is interesting. I'm seeing more and more people play her. Again, mostly with Sakazuki. I think it's smart, but I don't think we need it. The more I look at the Celestial Dragons, the more I just want to play them. You may send this character to the trash, give up to one of your opponent's -3. And this is a pretty good 2k as well. It's not Navy, obviously, but it's still pretty good. We don't need Becca. So let's fill out the rest of this suite. We're going to get rid of all the power matter stuff we're not going to deal with whatsoever. This Sabo feels a little unnecessary to me. I would rather have the Borsellino Hina package as our mid-range blockers along with Rebecca to retrieve anything. We'll keep the package pretty tight here too. Let's go ahead and add some KO effects. I think we could probably roll with 6 for 7 Sakazuki, just because it plays well in tandem with this Becca. If he happens to die rather later, we can pull him back out. So what we could do is play back. It's a 6 for 7. So if it's our 10 dawn turn, we can use Becca to retrieve this Sakazuki and still play him on the same turn. If we lack the card to remove a thing, she gives us another card to trash to remove a thing. I don't know if we're actually on 4 of these, but I do want to add more synergies for all of this negativing. So right now we've got 4, 8 effects that negative level. I want to have a few more. I don't think this deck should care about Ice Age, but we can maybe run 2. I think that the Great Eruption is a hell of a drug. I think it's a very good card. We've got all the 2Ks we want. Our top end could potentially be the King of Reduction with Kuzan, but again, we don't have a great way to roll into him here outside of dumb luck. The other reducer that is kind of forgotten about is Isho. I think for a slower list, he's okay, because we could still make use of that effect pretty well. The -3 to their cost. Obviously, this plays really well in tandem with Lucci. And don't forget about the on-play Trash 2 cards. It's not bad. I think against a purple Luffy matchup, this will be good because they will have a flush hand. So by the time we get to the 8 cost Isho, it will definitely make them discard cards in much the same way that that blocker law does. in those like mirror matches. I think that this Isho is probably good enough. This is very heavy naval package. The only things we have outside of that are these cards right here, excluding events, mind you. We don't have any defensive events, but mind you, we have a lot of blockers here, and we have a lot of counter power in hand. We have 12 cards that don't have counter power right now. I'm going to keep the ratios at 4 each. This is a little awkward, but it's not necessarily the... Well, we're going to revise, this is what I'm saying. We don't necessarily want to end with what we have here. So far as any other cards are concerned, please let me know what you think would be a good add to this. At the moment, we have 4, 8, 12 level reducers, 4, 8, 12, 16 blockers, which is more than I would ever run, generally. But we only have a handful of things that remove. It's just Sakazuki, Rob Lucci. I want to add another suite of removal effects, and I think we'll reduce the Ishos down to 3. Let's go ahead and add... So let's see if there's any like new black removal. I prefer that it be attached to a body like Lucci. Again, that's just the best. Stelly, this piece of shit. I'm actually just going through the what is it? Gray Terminal. The Goa Kingdom arc? Is that what they call it? I'm in the Luffy Brotherhood Childhood arc right now. And I have not seen Stelly as an adult, but he looks just as much of an asshole as he did as a kid. You may ask this character return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. If your opponent has 6 or more cards in hand, they discard a card. That's a cute 2K. I don't think we need that though. If there are any more removal effects on bodies, we could probably roll with them. Again, a lot of this stuff is KO proof based off of our boy, except for this blocker 2K, which is fine. Brand new and Becca, but it's fine. As soon as you play her, she's done all the work she needs to do. I think it might just be coming by way of events here. I still love this smoker. We don't really have an excuse for this smoker though. I generally prefer my leaders to have some negative level effects because at least in that scenario, their early game, 1 cost searcher can be a 0 cost, and then you'll just start beating them down with something like a smoker. We could have repeatable value with something like Garp here, although our mid-range is pretty high at the moment. Like a lot of these cards are turn 3 and onward, but this is sort of like a pseudo combo deck, so maybe this would be okay. There's no room for Shanks ever, sadly. I don't know, maybe there's a cool combo with him in the future, but it just doesn't exist right now. One of the things I have seen though, so far as removal cards are concerned, I don't generally like this effect. Again, Black's form of KO is the most damning, but it usually revolves around trashing a card. And OP02 released with this Kobe. This is a combo with Rebecca. Yes, you can recover this and play this, or just play this if it's stuck in your hand. But you can kill a 3 or less opponent character. With enough reduction, it's actually decent, but it's just a 4K on the crackback. Again, not as appealing as something like a Khalifa 2K, who's doing just a little bit more work in my opinion. Sakazuki's sort of the top end of this removal, outside of the reusable Garp. Maybe we can fool with Kuzan. Again, we have so many blockers that I feel like we can probably get away with having him as like the ultra top end, and maybe we can throw in some events that do the removal as well. We could use it. It could be Shockwave is really good for removing potential blockers, like trigger blockers or just low-end blockers from our opponents, everything from the Doflamingos to the Brulés to the, you name it. There's a lot of 3 or less blockers that will just be active for Shockwave to hit in a lot of cases. I don't mind adding that. And there's also Meteor Volcano in these colors right here. KO up to 1 or less. In this deck, we've got a lot of ways to remove that. Again, this is cost reduction, this is cost reduction. So it's 5, 9, 11, 17. 17 cost reducers. It feels a little bit like on the low end, honestly, for not having it in the leader spot. That's fine. I think we should add some more removal though. I like the Meteor Volcano off the trigger as well. Just as an effect to draw 2 trash 1 is actually really good for us. What do we? Oop, not that. Oh no, there. That's it. That's it. One less. Is that crazy? Split here. Ice Age. So our 7-drop turn. I mean, obviously, Ice Age Sakazuki is it will kill. Ice Age Sakazuki will kill anything, right? So that's really good for getting rid of like the 10 drops and under that we just can't have on the battlefield. And it gives us 3 Dawn to play with. 3 Dawn is not a whole lot for this particular deck on a 10 Dawn turn. The best thing we can do is lay down him as a blocker, which we don't necessarily want to do, unless we know they don't have the removal for this Bartolomeo. This deck, okay. I think I prefer Great Eruption here. Those Luchis are so crucial to the strategy. You kind of just want to make sure they pop off. We do that. We'll go for the Great Eruption still. We'll call it a day here and we'll try this out. So much of the top end of this deck is KO proof. I think that having the Kuzans as a permanent cost reduction if and when they hit is good. We have so many blockers that I think that's just going to go off. A majority of the stuff is retrievable from Rebecca, so far as her on play is concerned. Outside of the E-Show, I still think the E-Show is a valid play. I think that Becca is going to probably primarily target retrieving your Rob Lucci or your Sakazuki, because these will be targeted for removal and or just like killed on the crackback from your opponents. Like they can't leave a 6 and a 7k out there. This feels okay. Let's try it out. Okay. Sakatumi. KO proof. Let's go. All right, with any luck, this is going to be decent. Let me know how you built yours, if you went more the Revolutionary Army route. Again, I didn't really see any Rev Army cards I cared about. I might have missed something, though, so let me know if there was anything that's like a drastic improvement in the deck. Right now, we're running pretty much a mono black strategy, though. I will choose to go second. I definitely want the card draw, and as much as I like Hina, I don't need 2 Hinas and 2 Rebeccas in my starting hand. This is better. This is something. They don't have a turn 1 play. Okay. So we'll do our brand new. We just have 1 target, sadly. We'll grab the Tashigi. We'll trash the Lucci and the Becca. Kind of hurt, but it is what it is. Yeah, that's funny though. I feel like this Hina is going to be so good here. I cannot wait for our turn 3. Let's see what they do. Sakazuki as well, though, man. Sakazuki with Great Eruption, or sorry, this is Meteor Volcano. Damn it. Yeah. We could just comfortably get rid of the Tashigi, I think, but I don't mind seeing a draw here. It's a good draw, too. Okay, look at the top 5 cards revealed. Don Quixote Pirate. Did they hit? I don't know how many Don Quixote Pirates they actually play. Sugar's good. Sugar's a good one. We've got ways, though. We've got ways to get rid of that. I think the first thing we'll do is just ram this girl. You can keep her alive. It's totally fine. So far as our like what we want to do, I think we just want to go attack with our boy and play Borsellino. This seems like a pretty easy play for our turn. Next turn, it's going to be Hina, and then we're going to just be KO proof. We'll get the KO proof strategy down. We're going to hold Rob Lucci for any combos. I hope that they waste a 2k event here, honestly. Like, it's fine. 2 cost event, mind you. I would rather we see it now, or that. That's fine, too. Let's do Borsellino. Pass. 6k blockers are pretty legit, guys. I don't know. Maybe I'll block here. I don't know what that does. If your leader's on Quixote, all your opponent's characters cost 5 or less will not become active during their player's refresh phase. Okay. If you have 10 or more Dawn on the field, that's cool. Is that permanent? If your leader's on Quixote, all your characters of 5 or less will not become active. Damn, that's pretty solid, isn't it? All right, well, they've got 2 things to do. So we've got a Red Beam. I still think we play Hina and just hold it. It's like the best blocker. I'm totally fine with this. Like, it's not like we have anything else to do. And they can swing into my boys. It's totally fine. That's a weird one. That seems like a bomb, doesn't it? Birdcage. What's nice is that our top end is pretty heavy, so I guess I'm not too concerned, but maybe we should mainline stage removal? Like how rare that's going to be. I don't really know. I don't think it's going to happen that often where it's necessary. Eventually, though, we will have to block with Hina, but it will not be soon. It will be later. It'll be much later. And I'm not going to run out Sakazuki until there's something valid to hit. I don't know what's taking so long with this block. There we go. It happened. Yeah, that's so weird. We've got nothing for this stage. I hope we hit our Kuzan soon. That's going to change this game dramatically if we hit Kuzan. If he swings at me, I'll take the draw. Genuinely. We just want the draw at this point. Cool. Yeah. Tashigs. Tashigs, you say? So this is our 8 Dawn turn. We've got ways to kill the kid. So it's probably going to be Tashigi. It's probably going to be Tashigi. Let me just look at my options here. I keep thinking that this is greater option and it's not. I don't really want to waste the Tashigi here, but it's the best we've got. So we'll go ahead, deploy Tashigi. Give this -2. Give this -2. Oh shit, did I math wrong? We mathed wrong, boys. That's okay. What else can I do? I don't think I can kill it this turn. 1 or less? Nah, that's fine. I guess we're gonna have to squander the Hina here. I definitely mathed wrong. That's okay. I think what we'll do is just don the shit out of this guy and swing. Because I'm pretty sure there's no two cost event that could save him. It's gonna be like a 2-for-1. This is fine though. Our math is gonna be better next turn. We can stop we can block and just let the Hina can die at this point is what I'm saying. It's totally fine. Right. One thing I am noticing though, there's not much rush in green purple either, so I'm not too concerned about that. But how do you want to do that attack? I definitely messed up. You're in a good spot. Okay, this is fine. Whatever. Had to happen, right? Okay. This is okay. Actually, don't mind this. Let's see here. We will definitely take this. Okay. Did we have any mid-range removal that could have worked there? I don't think so. Sadly, I think Sakazuki's like it. So this. We will not block, but I will just do the Bart counters. Cool. So we still have the Tashigi. You can pass now. It's not much to determine here. Is this greater option? Thank God. Okay. 10 Dawn turn. We can go ahead and negative the character, draw a card, and kill it, which we will do. We're going to negative this guy, obviously. We'll go Sakazuki. We'll use the card action. We'll get rid of, I guess, the Rob Lucci here. That's not true at all. Rob Lucci's going to be very good soon. I think we could probably get rid of our other Sakazuki, though, and that'll be fine. Or even just this, this event here. Kill this guy. We'll go Dawn up here. Dawn up here. I'll keep the Rad Beam. Obviously, we have a very good Kuzan turn coming up. This is just enough, I think, to swing into him, right? Yeah. That's fine. They will have events or something for this, and that's just going to be what it is. We definitely have the ability to last another turn. The only question is, do we really care to keep our life intact at this point? I don't know. This Kuzan would kill the Eustace Kid if we had a way to remove that event, but it's fine. That's one of the nice things about Tashigi, though. If she just sticks, she's quite good for the deck. All right, no blocks. I guess we'll just Rad Beam here. That's why we kept the Dawn. This is sort of a low effort swing. This Rocinante is interesting. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm not quite sure it's a good enough card. It's obviously working here. We've failed in a few instances on our turn. I think that so far as our turn is concerned here, though, we want to keep ourselves alive. We don't have a good way to do that. They've got all the events and all the blockers in their favor. The best thing I can do is to get a potential Rob Lucci play, but there's nothing for this deck to do that. We need Kuzan down to help kill this board, starting with that Law. But genuinely, the blocker was probably necessary for us next turn. We only have three 2K counters in hand, so we can only do so much on the return here. Sakazuki's a fine body, but really, we're just hoping they fuck up their combat math in doing this. So we'll just replace the Tashigi and we'll kill. Oh yeah, they can't be KO'd. That's cool. I mean, it is what it is. We need to play that anyways. Let's just go ahead and do that. They can waste the event. I think they're better off just taking the draw at this point. Like, there's no need for them to waste their event. This thing was clutch, dude. The birdcage really got me. I'm not sure that there's anything good for me to use against that. I don't really have anything. If Kuzan sticks, I'm in a good spot. That's all I can say. So at this point, we're going to have to avoid all the damage we can. So we're at that stage of the game. You should attack with this kid next. Maybe play something out first and attack with that kid. Or just play your other kid. You've literally hit two of them. Don't waste the Dawn. Yeah, that's so goofy, dude. Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's see it. Okay. I think they're going to play it safe. Sadly, we can't do anything about this, so we're going to have to take this. And, oh, wait, no. Not that it mattered, but let's see if they just swing with a 6K and then hold blockers for some reason, because they're looking like they want to do the Eustace Kid thing. I don't know why they would. Sure. That's all it took, man. That's all it took. If I got to my turn, though, I might have won this. All I had to do was remove that blocker. That was weird. I mean, you know, my hand was... This is okay. This first showing was okay. I think we need to do another round where we don't get freaking bird caged. Should I consider running stage removal? That was very weird. Like, a lot of this deck is... This should be interesting. This matchup should be very interesting. I think this will be a little bit more in my favor. We can keep this starting hand. It's okay. Because we're going second here. It's fine. The negative effects here are useless for us, but I like the curve. I think we just get rid of this, though. We can probably find a better starting. This was not the better starting. Okay. Probably should have kept the other hand. Draw, done, sure. Okay. I was letting you know I don't have Shockwave. That's all I'm really saying. I will take the draw. Thank you. God, our top end. Unreal. You want less cards in hand, not more cards in hand. This is interesting. I like seeing what this Ivankov is doing. I think that we just want to dawn up and swing. There's really no plays for us right now, so sure. If they go vanilla at us, we're gonna have to get rid of the Becca, sadly. Okay. I trashed Red Rock? I don't know what's going on. Oh. Cool. Sure. We're gonna have to take this again. Yeah, that first hand was way better. I mean, I guess we do nothing. We've got nothing really to play from our hand that's good. We probably just want to throw a blocker down, if anything, but we're not that desperate yet. This is the coveted 6 Dawn turn. So I guess we could just play Sakazuki and have a beater on board. Screw it, let's do that. I don't know, he just dumped 2 red rocks, so if they have a 3rd red rock in their hand, it is what it is. So I'll play this, sure. Because the 3000 worlds won't work in this instance, so it's just I've not fought an Ivankov in a while, but generally speaking, the Ivankovs, they want to do the opposite of what this Ivankov is doing. They do have the other red rock. That's whatever. I want to get this back from, oh. Okay. Thank God for that. I just want to get that back from Becca, genuinely. 8 Dawn turn. They've got 6 or more cards in hand. E-show. Cool, and then we'll attack for this, and you can run. Do you have another 2 Dawn event or something? Probably overheat. Cool. I'm just going to take attacks from here, I think. This has been a very weird game, but I like seeing Ivankov again. It's really nice. Generally speaking, Ivankov's like not, this is like all events. It's very weird. Again, this is not what I'm accustomed to seeing. My hands have been weird, man. Like, I don't like taking attacks I don't have to, and I'm not seeing any 2k counters, so I'm kind of cool just like loosing the Beccas here. This Rob Lucci's useless against this particular deck strategy, so I'm fine with getting rid of the Beccas. I still have 1. And I only like taking attacks I have to. Next turn is probably going to be Kuzan just because. Like, really just because. Place all 3 or lower characters at the bottom of the owner's decks, then just like trash 2 cards. Okay, Lucci in this KO this thing. Yeah. This is a weird matchup. Dude, and I'm pulling all the cards to remove characters and nothing to show for it. It's so bad. Sure, I'll attack here. I don't think we're at the stage where we need to Becca at this point, so I'll just play Kuzan and I'll attack and pass. Cool. Sure. I don't know. I have less cards than you, so if you do the thing again, sure. Draw. Do this. Yeah. I see that. Well, let's see here. We can go Rebecca to retrieve this guy and play this guy and then just play Sakazuki and attack. Is there? Oh yeah, he comes in and play tapped. Forget about that. So they've used 3 of their red rocks, or not, they've not used 3 of their red rocks. They've seen 3 of the red rocks, so they've got at least 1 left. At this point, I guess it's Isho, if anything. They're clearly not running any characters, so this is the exact opposite of what you will typically see. Generally speaking, it's all characters is what Ivankov normally does, so that you can go down, rush, draw. Because this deck is not making use of Ivankov's ability at all. I feel like you could just do what this person's doing with any blue leader, right? So it's a little weird to see. It's fine though. I think the safest thing here is probably our I don't know. Let's go to get rid of like one of those 2 cost events. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Sure. Draw 2 cards. I wish we had another Isho to drop at this point, honestly. Uh, Minimally, I just want 1 Dawn on him, I guess. And then we'll throw like another blocker down, I guess. Yeah, they might have a way to like kill me. Lord knows. Let's do this. Isho's kind of hard to remove at this point. Like, blue's not going to have any events in hand that can just thwart me. So I want to get any assured. Overheat. Continue. Love beam. No draw. So we can sort of force his hand here with Isho. I think it's probably safer to like just go 1 and drop the blocker again so they have to contend with it. Yeah. Okay. That was interesting. Let's go again. I'm going to get at least 1 more game in, and then we'll see if the Sabo's any good. That was a very weird like fight. I don't know how often that's going to occur, but this is very keepable. I don't know how often that's going to occur, but that was interesting. We'll say that much. I will draw, I will play brand new, and I will grab the Sakazuki. It's freaking great. And I'll pass with that. Tashigi's probably safe, just getting dropped. Right? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like Tashigi's safe here. Let's do that, especially grabbing the Rebecca. Like, hell yeah. I feel like Tashigi's safe. So I'll play Tashigi, and then I'll set up for my next turn. Yeah, we got in there, boys. Woo! I can't believe I got in there. Oh, they want me to Isho them so bad. Oh, you're going to kill my... Oh, no, this is not the one that kills the thing. It's just ramp. That's actually kind of cool. So this 6K Luffy is really interesting in that sense. Do I care? I'll take another hit. All right. No trigs. It's interesting to see this deck play right now. I'm liking it. We've got a 2K counter in the bin though to grab with Becca, so it's not like the worst thing in the world. And I could play Hina here, which I think is the play. It's fine. Just going again, vanilla 6K. Keep my stuff up, wait for them to drop. I mean, I'm expecting a Kaido soon. I think Kaido is going to take care of the probably Hina, maybe Queen. Cool. Okay. I don't know what this Luffy was attempting, but I want to play this deck against like a, I don't know. I want to play this deck against something where it can actually show its capabilities. We'll do 1 more game. This is a weird day for grinding with Sabo, but I think the list we've came up with is fine. The issue is it's not looting or rummaging or drawing cards effectively. So you get what you get. What's nice though is that a lot of the synergies or things we care about are within Navy, so we can find them off brand new. But as it is, it seems fine. They chose to go second. Oh, that's where I wanted to go, dude. Going second or going first rather in this deck is always awkward. Like any hand is going to be just okay. This hand is functionally okay though, so we can keep it. It's fine. We really want to go second though, generally speaking, especially against this Luffy. I'm surprised they had no actions for us at all there. Sure, let's just go ham. I don't know. Give me the blast breath, I guess. I don't know what you would be using. Oh, you thought you could get in on me? You thought, yeah, probably gonna let that happen. I don't know. Queen. Oh, yeah, Eustace Kid. All right, can we kill the Eustace Kid? KO 1 or less. Maybe. Is it a little overkill? I don't know. The kid is pretty solid, but I don't know how much I care about Eustace Kid right now. I think we could probably just play Borsellino and attack. Maybe he'll trade. It's too soon. I think that what we want to do is a Lucci turn. Obviously, Lucci to kill two things. Fucking whatever. It's whatever. I haven't been able to play cards, so what do we lose? We lost Hina. Okay, that's fine. Sure. I mean, I don't think we need to eat this. What we want to do on my turn is get this down to one, and kill that. We just take it. I don't know, guys. Do you see the 7 Dawn turn happening? You have page 1. Look at you. Look at the predictability. All right. That was pretty good. Not gonna lie. We can get rid of 2 blockers in 1 turn, though. So what I think we're gonna do is just Ice Age this, Suru that, Lucci, use the card action, put these back, kill that and that, and I will Dawn up and I will swing. And we have a KO proof blocker. Cool. I don't know, we're doing okay in this matchup. I'm like, this Luffy's doing everything it wants to do pretty much, so that can be rough. So what we could do here is like just counter out and then block with the Borsellino when necessary. So let's just go ahead and do that. Sakazuki's going to kill pretty much anything on the board right now. They're 1 Dawn off from Kaido, I think. We can take this. Right? I'll give him the opportunity. Give him the opportunity to kill Borsellino if he wants. I'd rather he redirect some of these attacks at Borsellino than me. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't want to have to get rid of the Suru there, though, if I'm being perfectly honest. That did suck. A 9 Dawn turn right now. So the best thing we can do is hit Suru off the top and then just kill this kid. So I think that we have to aim for that. Tashigi off the top. Which just puts me out of range. So Tashigi could drop -2, bring it down to 5, and then I have what? I have 4 Dawn left? Nah. Alright, I'll take the win. I'll take the win for impatience. It's this is not gonna go well for me though, I don't think. The best thing I could do is just swing into his bodies, I think at this point, and then kill those, and then leave these 2, Luffy, and there's no sense in swinging to Luffy at this point. Leaving the Luffy and the kid. We can do some revisions here, I think, and then play at least 1 more round for you guys to get a better feel for this. I feel like Sabo's fine. This effect is cute, but I've not used it enough to say whether or not it's warranted. I'm not really sure what the deck is absolutely missing at this point. Again, if you have feedback on what you would add, let me know. I'm thinking there's probably some red cards that we could utilize, but the negative power effects are kind of irrelevant for our general strategy. Again, water and oil. Black just doesn't care about what red is doing whatsoever. The Bekkas are cute, but not necessarily when you don't have a way to leverage them. I still think that they're okay. We really need more Ice Ages, honestly. Just, I think we can get rid of the Great Meteor Volcano in general and add... We can get rid of the Meteor Volcano and probably add the Kuzan. Honestly, this 4-cost Kuzan would probably be good here solely because of our leader's ability. I think that might be the thing we're missing here to roll in tandem with what we've been doing. Let's try it one more time. So after this video, I'll go ahead and try to find a deck editor that will let me make the actual list for you guys, and I'll leave it in a link in the description so you can check it out. Again, you can take this list, do with it what you will. I do agree that black seems to be the color to go for here, and then just keeping them alive with Sabo's ability is pretty solid. Kaido, this should be interesting. And they chose to go second. Of freaking course. We'll keep this hand. It has a lot of what we want to do, but not necessarily in the order we want to do it. So it is what it is. Is the stage what they normally want to do at that point? I don't know. Okay, so we've got Tashigi to play. I feel pretty safe dropping Tashigi here. What the hell? I mean, we do want her on the fields. Like, we want that effect. And, like, if I force removal for Tashigi, I don't feel so bad. Okay, that's what it is. It's 3 Dawn. You're not going to play shit, are you? I will take the draw, sir. Got an Isho. Oh, Isho is going to be very good in this matchup, but I am off curve from him. That hurts. All right, so we've got the Great Eruption to help with our Lucci turn. Not sure what that's even going to look like at this point. I think that Hina is probably just the play, and then, again, very awkward off turn, but it is what it is. They might just take this because, I mean, at this point, they've got so much more life than us. I think they're probably fine with it. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. They're ramping to their Kaido turn, and they're pretty close to it. If you could tell, like they're 1 away. I'm pretty sure that's like what they want to do. I assume that the purple Kaido just cares about getting the other Kaido down and doing the -7 business. Oh, that's pretty dope, actually. Yeah, no matter what, they're at the right amount of Dawn for next turn. So, I think this is just another one we can take because I need the cards at this point. Cool. I would really love to see Sakazuki off the top, but odds of that are unlikely. There you go. All right, so far as removal is concerned, we just have Rob Lucci. So we can go -2 here, -4. Cross my freaking fingers. Why not? All right, so he goes down to 5, and then what? He'll go down to fucking 3. That's it. It's whatever. I need to put something in my trash though at this point. It's fine. So we'll do this. We'll Dawn up. Oh, fine. We'll Dawn up twice. It's whatever. Again, being off curve sucks, dick. We'll just play the Borsalino. Just gonna play the Borsalino. Okay, cool. We'll pass. Sure. Yeah. You did that a little. I mean, you could just do Enrested. I don't know. Who gives a shit? Yeah, we'll use the leader effect. 5K. Oh no, do it. What's the 10 Dawn play? Is it Monkey D. Luffy? I'm not really sure what this. There you go. Yeah, I'm not really sure what this Kaido wants to do. He doesn't win me here, but like that's pretty dope. I guess you just kill. I don't know what you do. It's cycling through the deck really quickly. I've got a lot of blockers though, so I feel pretty safe moving forward. This Luffy by effect also adds Dawn, so you got a lot of Dawn gain. It's pretty cool. At this point, unless I'm expecting removal, like I don't have a 2K counter in hand, so it doesn't fucking matter. And I'll eat it from this Luffy too. Yeah. There's no rushers here, so I'm not too worried about it. Sure. Draw. Done. Cool. So, right now, we just have Sabo as a good attacker. We don't have any real great plays outside of potentially Isho here. There's only 2 attacks inbound, and I think I could go Isho here and just leave the blockers. That's probably fine. Although it would be nice to have more blockers, obviously. But let's just do this. Oh, God. Good hits. Sure. I have so many blockers. Like, they need to remove a blocker and swing hard. So I feel okay. It's cool seeing Kaido do the thing though. It's weird because Kaido's this deck really just plays Kaido for Animal Kingdom, it seems, so it can have its stage active and present. But the Kaido effect is not very good here if this is what you're trying to do, right? Like if you're just trying to ramp out to Secret Luffy. Sure, my guy. Again, it's like it's just not gonna work unless you get rid of the blockers. And I don't know if there's a rusher at 4, so yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, I guess we'll do Rebecca. Do I have my 2K? I don't even have Bart in the grave yet, do I? I don't really have a good way to get rid of this Luffy at this point, sadly. But this Kuzan will be a good way to do that. I think that Kuzan's kind of a must here just to start level reduction. We can get him down to 5, but we don't have the Sakazuki, if you notice, between Isho and Shishigi. So we're missing that kind of removal there. I'm not trying to do any more math at this point. I think we'll put the Hina down as well, just because it's a free play. And we'll go here. We'll swing to face. Cool. And we'll swing here for a 9. You can do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Okay. That's it. Yeah, I just need this Kuzan to help me get the kill on this Luffy. It should not have stuck around this long, if we're being honest with each other, but of the 4 6-cost Sakazukis in my deck, I have not seen any, so it is what it is. We're going to keep losing blockers turn after turn if he's just swinging into me, so we'll see what happens. Again, it would probably be safer to go with 3 blockers at this point, but I'm going to start trying to remove things at this juncture. And maybe we can use Lucci to do that. It's going to be here, here, and here. So we can reduce by 4. If these things stay, we can reduce by 4, 8, 10. Wow, we can bring that thing down to 0. That's really cool. So Hina is not the right block here yet. But I don't really want her to die either. We could just counter out of this, I think, and be fine. And it'll give us something to retrieve from our... effects. We also need these for Lucci, so we can do the math later. There's no point in ramming Monkey D. Luffy, but there's no reason you shouldn't either at this point, so just throw Monkey D. Luffy out. You can hold for your 2-cost event. It's fine. I'm going to try to Lucci both of them, though. So if I do attack with all of them, yeah. Cool. Cool. Draw a card. Okay, so all we need to do is Tashigi. Bring this down to 1. Bring this down. This is down to 2. Let's do this. Oh, fuck, I hit the wrong thing, guys. Aren't I amazing? Aren't I amazing at this game? All right, well, that's down to 0. Whatever. All right, so it's a 0. That's 5. Fuck me, man. Glorious misclick. I don't think I have anything else to like level reduce at this point, so it's whatever. Do I have an event that can just kill it? I don't want to just play Lucci for the sake of playing Lucci. It doesn't even matter. Okay, so what do we have? We've got Lucci, and then we can play... Lucci's gonna replace Tashigi, I think. Yeah, we'll put this, fine, and we'll kill this. Oh, well, cool. At least he recognized that. I don't know. That was definitely a misclick. Sorry, guys. But we would have killed both these things, and we would have flooded the board. We can do one more game. Actually, nah, screw it. I think we're done with Sabo. Let's talk about Sabo. I think it's okay. It's not doing enough by itself. I think to hold, like, to grind games better, it's really good at doing that. Like, you'll just hold fort very easily if your opponent doesn't have the right resources. But yeah, we had that game by the balls at that point. If I didn't misclick, again, it would have been reducing. So it would have been, what is it, -4 here, -2 off Tashigi, and then -3 off of Isho. Is that correct? So 3, 5, 9. And that would have been the 1 drop, and then Isho's ability would have made the queen the 2 drop. So the Lucci would have killed both of them. They wouldn't have had a board, and we would have had 2 blockers available. And at that point, I would have just played the Rebecca as well to have an additional blocker. So it would have, well, actually, I think I had another Borsellino in hand. I don't know, so many blockers. But the cool bit of business is that we can keep the blockers turn after turn with Sabo's effect if our opponent doesn't focus the blocker. This is sort of blocker deck, which is fine. It is very defensive and very good at holding fort, but I'm not sure that just holding your ground is enough to win games necessarily. Although we won a few there, so it's okay. Birdcage, watch out for that. Look at the levels of our characters. More than half of the shit is 5 and under, so Birdcage rips this deck apart, sadly. But by and by, I think the deck and the strategy is okay. Guys, let me know if you've built Sabo. I'd be very curious to see your build for this list. Is it very different? Did you go the red route, which was more aggressive? There's probably be a case to be made for that, because going sideways with red also means that, you know, instead of keeping blockers alive, which is fine, keeping your attackers alive, right? Making them doubly commit to removing attackers could be really potent. And I think that might be where this is strongest, right? So just having a shit ton of rushers, like rush Zoro, rush Luffy, go bomb them, hit them, and then make them commit to those attacks, right? Especially even off turn there, like a turn 2 for Dawn turn with rush Zoro and then donning Sabo up. That seems pretty legit to me, right? Like, you're gonna have to really overcommit to kill the Zoro. And rush Zoro, if you guys know, one of the biggest threats in the game so far as red is concerned, red aggro. So I think this list is fine. Again, I'd be curious to see your deck, but Sabo, definitely KO proof. My favorite deck strategy. It does a thing, and it did it there. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, I'll encourage you to leave a like. Also, let's rock out with your cocks out, boys and girls. I don't know why I said that. I just like the fact that I know how to do, wait, do I know how to do all of them though? I think this is like confetti or something. No. Oh God, I forgot. I forgot all of them. I'll have to look it back up later. But guys, that was fun. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, if you want to see more content like this. And of course, feel free to share your thoughts on any decks we've built here on the channel. But I'll see you in the next one, gang. That was okay. That deck was just okay. Like, I don't know. Does it really compete with something like Sakazuki and Black Blue? You have the best removal, you have the best level reduction. See, sometimes it does it, sometimes it doesn't. Like, it's like, it hasn't made up its mind on whether it, there you go. It hasn't really made up its mind on whether it wants to do this or not for me. Sakazuki is so much better though, guys. Oh my God. Purple Luffy's fun, but like, sometimes you just don't get the right cards, and there's no card quality effects. You're just drawing cards, so you've got a lot of draw, but it can be rough, man. It can be kind of rough, dude. This package though, I do need to reduce. I'm not going to show you my Sakazuki list, but maybe on a future date we can brew Sakazuki. It's been brewed to death at this point, but I'm using the Sentomaru package because we have a great excuse to do it now. But yeah, being in black and blue is so good for Navy. Like, there's so many naval cards we have access to now that are just so damn good for this deck. So excited to share this with you. But guys, see you in the next one. Ciao. Bye-bye. Don't forget to rock out with your cock.